All right, question 20 is a topic that we actually haven't discussed in class yet. And so I'm going to take some time to give you some background information that's going to help you understand what we're working with. So this is called a two-way table. So it's got several categories in each column, in this case, English, math, and science, but it also has categories for each row, in this case, girls and boys. And what we're trying to do is figure out what is each girl and each boy's favorite subject. So let's say we interviewed a bunch of people at Roosevelt Middle School and asked different girls and different boys what their favorite subject was between English, math, and science. So if they gave us answers, and here you can see only part of the table is filled out. But if we understand how a two-way table works, we can fill it out ourselves. So at the end of each row is a total. So the total number of girls surveyed was 50. So the number of girls that like English and the number of girls that like math and the number of girls that like science should add up to 50. So if we know this, then I can take 20 and 13, which is 33, and do 50 minus 33 and end up with 17. So I know that 17 girls like science because 50 minus 13 and minus 20 gets me 17. Okay, now I can also know that there's a total at the bottom of each column. So this would be the total number of people that enjoy math. So the total number of girls plus boys that love math added together. In this case, we have 13 girls that like math, 15 boys that like math. So together, 28. Now, notice as I start to fill in parts of this table, it allows me to do other things. Now, this is the total number of English, the total number of math, and the total number of science, which is going to give me the total number of people altogether. And if I add 38 and 28 and 40, I will get 106. Well, I already know that there are 50 girls that were asked about their favorite subject. If I know a total number of people asked was 106, I can work backwards and do 106 minus 50 and learn that there was 56 boys that were asked. Now, all of these other ones, the English and the science, we can figure out by working backwards as well. If 38 people liked English and I subtract the 20 girls, that means 18 boys liked English. If 40 people liked science and 17 of those were girls, I subtract that and get 23. So this is how you fill out a two-way table. The rows, each row adds up to this total. This row adds up to this total. This column adds up to this total. This column, this total, and the English column to this total. Now, let's move on to the next table below, because now I want to take it a step further and talk to you about something called relative frequencies. And that is just a decimal, is all we're trying to find, a decimal. So before we do that, let's see if we could fill out this table. Well, there's a couple ways I could start. I know that a total number of people, of boys that were asked about their favorite food, pizza or ramen, is 40. Well, if 16 of those people like ramen, if I do 40 minus 16, that leaves me with 24 people who like pizza, or 24 boys who like pizza. Well, altogether, now I can start adding other things in. Like, for example, 21 plus 24 gets me 45. So altogether, 45 people like pizza. Over here, if I know there's 100 total people that were asked and 45 people like pizza, then that means 55 of those people like ramen. Well, if 55 people like ramen and 16 boys are like ramen, then there must be 55 minus 16 gets me 39 girls that preferred ramen over pizza. And if we look at our totals, 100 total, 40 boys, there must be 60 girls. Now, I want to talk to you about relative frequency. If I want to know what percentage or what portion of the girls liked specific things, I can come up with a decimal or relative frequency. If I take 21 and divide that by the total at the end, so 21 divided by 60, I get the decimal, which is 0.35, and that is my relative frequency. So 0.35, which is the same as 35% of girls preferred pizza. Over here, if I do 39 divided by 60, I get 0.65. And as we know, that's the same as 65%. So 65% of girls like pizza. Now, the most important thing is these two relative frequencies always have to add up to 1. All right? So 0.35 and 0.65 add up to 1. Down here, we can do the same thing. The number 24 out of 40, so 24 divided by 40 gives us 0.6. And I would always do 2 decimal places because it makes it easier to compare. And if 60% like pizza, then we could probably surmise that 40% like ramen. Once again, 0.60 and 0.4 add up to 1. So that leads us to the question that you were given, question 20, which is probably one of the hardest examples of this type of question. They have girls and boys, whether they prefer riding a bicycle or playing soccer. Well, we want to know what is the total number of students did the teacher surveyed. So we don't have a total here, we don't have a total here. We're just lacking totals all over the place. So how can we come up with more information? Well, they didn't give us anything else except they said that there is 56% probability that if they talk to a girl, they like playing soccer. So what they just gave us is a relative frequency, because remember, 56% equals 0.56. So 0.56 would go right here, 0.56. Now, if 0.56 goes there, remember this one and this one together have to add up to 1. So if I do 1 minus 0.56, I would get 0.44. Okay, so 0.44 would be right here. So how does that help us? Well, that's going to help us get the total, because I know that 0.44 of the total of, in mathematics, always stands for times the total. I don't know what that is, so I'm just going to put x, should equal this number here, which is 22. All right. Now, if I do that division to get x by itself, if I divide both sides by 0.44, I get x equals 50. So now I know the total number of girls is 50. Okay, well, how does that help us? Well, now we can start filling in some extra boxes. If there are 22 girls that like bicycles and there's 50 girls total, that means that 28 girls must like soccer. All right, now I'm going to stop here and I'm going to let you finish adding up the total number of girls that people that like bicycles, the total number of people that like soccer, and then add these two across to figure out what are the total number of people that were asked in this survey. So sorry this video was a little bit longer than usual, but I think it was important to help you understand a little bit about two-way tables before asking you a difficult question like that. Good luck. Once again, get a hold of me or comment if you have any questions.